Hello. Today, you will hear a story about a man's revenge. My childhood was not easy. The mother passed away early. I almost didn't remember her. I peered at the photographs with her. Only vague pictures of the past flashed in my memory. I was still very young when she passed away. I spent all my childhood with my father. My father was not bad. But he worked a lot, was constantly on the road, so I did not see him often. He brought me gifts, tried to give me time, took care of me, but basically I spent my childhood with my grandparents. No matter how hard his father tried, he could not earn much. We didn't live in poverty, but we didn't get rich either. I never asked for more. It was a great happiness for me just to be with my father together. Studying was tight. There was no money for an expensive university. As a child, I dreamed of becoming a doctor. But life has prepared a completely different path for me. From a young age, I try to earn money. When my peers were still sitting on their parents' necks, I was already earning my first money. I also had a passion for big cars. It's not surprising that I became a truck driver. For me, personally, it was good money enough to live on, and it turned out to save something. I never sat still. I spent most of my time on the road. But when I returned home, I liked to have a good rest with my friends. We used to meet at our favorite bar. And by late afternoon, we would finish our fun at Denny's, my friend's house. Danny had a large country house that his parents built. There was a lot of space here, and you could have a great time. "Jack, aren't you tired of driving for days?" Danny asked me. Danny, to be honest, no. I love my job. I visit various countries. I am attracted by the road. There is something in this. I tell you for sure. I answered. "Friend, in my opinion, you are just looking for an excuse for the fact that you are used to this work and do not want to change anything." Danny joked. "No. Danny, you don't understand. I would never trade my job for a boring office routine." Fine. Fine. I'd love to believe you, but you don't have a girlfriend. Why don't you meet anyone? Man, time goes by and you're still alone. Yes. Danny, do not put pressure on the patient. I would like to, of course, but so far there is number one in mind. Come on, but what about Stacy? This bartender definitely has her eye on you. And, yes, she's pretty. Cute. Danny, I'm sorry. Of course, but she's not my type. Look at him. So you won't find anyone. There was truth in Danny's words. I haven't met anyone for a long time, but I did not want to connect my life with just anyone. Somehow, after regular gatherings, I returned home. That evening, I remained sober. There was no desire drinking. So I took my drunken friends home, and I was already returning home. Then it rained heavily. Suddenly, on the side of the road, I noticed a car with flashing lights. I stopped and saw a completely wet girl who was trying to fix the car. "Good evening. Can I help you?" I answered as I opened the window. "Young man, yes. I already thought that number one would pass here until morning." The girl answered excitedly. "What happened to you?" "The car stalled. While I was trying to figure it out in the rain, my phone got wet. I can't even call a tow truck." I looked under the hood and saw that the thermostat was covered. All the antifreeze had flowed out. "Girl, I have to disappoint you. You can't fix it that easily. But don't worry. I'll call a tow truck. If you want, I can give you a lift." "Young man, I would be very grateful to you." The car was loaded by a tow truck and taken to a car service. I took the wet girl through. We met. Her name was Jessica. We chatted on the way to her house. She was very sweet and quite pretty. Then we agreed to meet again. We liked each other and ended up dating. And it's been 15 years since we got married. Life together was not as fun as it was in the first time when we just met. But I was still madly in love with Jessica. I still transported goods to various countries, so I did not have the opportunity to return home from work every day as in many other families. But on the other hand, the time that we spent together was very intense. It was passionate sex and fun parties and romantic evenings. I was happy now. I had a great desire to quickly return home where my Jessica was waiting for me. But lately, our relationship has deteriorated. Jessica started pushing me more and more. Jack, you've been on the road for so long, and your salary is not growing. I'm not saying that you make bad money, but we don't have enough for a lot. Jessica said, puzzled. Darling, what are you doing? I plow for days and earn much more than my colleagues. Jack, I have been wanting to change my car for a long time. We wanted to buy a new house, but your earnings are not enough for this. But Jessica, everything suited you before. We are not poor people. That was earlier. You are stuck in the same place. Jessica, I have, of course, plans for the future, but that won't happen today. We must be patient. Are you talking about your dreams again? Open your own shipping company and stuff like that. I'm tired of hearing this. Darling, these are not just words. I try. Listen, I have a friend named Mike. Do you remember? Is that the nasty guy? He's not mean. Mike is a promising businessman. And I already agreed with him that you will come for an interview. What the hell, Jessica? I didn't ask you for this. I love my place of work too. You didn't even consult me. I answered angrily. Jack, just go and talk to Mike. I'm trying for us. You will earn much more. Jessica, you can't. Honey, I beg you very much. Please do this for me. Jessica very persistently persuaded me for a long time. In the end, I gave in and got a job with Mike. I really didn't like this guy. He was obviously hiding something. I delivered goods from another country, but this work was very strange. Mike paid good money so I wouldn't ask too many questions. I didn't even really know what I was translating. According to the documents, it was consumer electronics. The goods were loaded and unloaded without my presence. Warehouses were very secretive. They didn't let me in. They drove out of the warehouse and only then let me drive. Such trips alarmed me more and more, but Jessica's behavior seemed no less suspicious. She was changing before our eyes. Jack, have you seen Mike for a long time? Jessica asked. Yes. I just came from him, but what? I asked anxiously. He just called me, said he couldn't get through to you. You need to go on an urgent flight again. What the hell? I just got back. I don't know, Jack, but it's urgent. Call him back. I was furious. Such a schedule clearly did not suit me. Hello, Mike? Do I need to fly again? Yes, Jack. I'm sorry, but this is an urgent delivery. The other driver can't. You have to go. Jack, I understand everything, but please help me out. Listen, I, of course, understand everything, but this kind of work does not suit me. I will go on this flight, but if this continues, then I will quit. Jessica and I hadn't spent time alone in a long time, and now she meekly sent me to work on. It was very strange. I felt that I was in a suspicious and incomprehensible situation. My car was loaded and I could drive. But I was already on the edge, so I didn't hit the road right away. I called my friend, Danny. We agreed to meet at his country house where I could easily park my truck. And the next day, I just would have been on the road longer, so as not to stray from the schedule. Jack, tell me what's going on. You are not yourself. Danny asked me anxiously. Yes. My friend, some kind of devilry is happening. Jessica started acting weird and this new job. There is clearly something wrong here. I answered. What are you transporting? Hell knows? According to the documents, household appliances. Well, let's check it out. No, Danny. Don't you dare. Everything is sealed there. Don't worry. We will restore if anything. Nobody will notice. Danny rushed to the car. Before I could stop him, he broke the seals and opened the back door of the truck. Danny, what the hell? What have you done? Do not panic. Let's watch. So what do we have here? Danny took out the microwave box, unpacked it, got out the appliances. Inside was a bag of white powder. What is it? Drugs? Danny asked worriedly. I have no idea, I answered with a dumbfounded look. So don't panic. I have a good friend from the police. He will help us. Danny's friend's name was Jim, and I only knew him visually. We contacted him the same evening. He confirmed that it was a narcotic composition. My hair stood on end at this news. I talked to Jim and told him everything about who I work for. Jim was far from the last person in his department and contacted the right people. Pretty soon I learned that Mike was a drug dealer who had been under surveillance for a long time, but it was not possible to catch this bastard hot. I was introduced into a special operation, told to take the goods to their destination and continue to carry myself as before without arousing suspicion. I took the goods and returned home. Jessica, son, I'm back. Jack. Dear, how glad I am to see you. Jessica hugged me with a fake smile. How glad I am to see you. It's going to be our wedding anniversary soon. Jessica, listen, our wedding anniversary is coming soon. I would not like to celebrate noisily. Let's sit at home. And yes, I am not often at home. I understand that this holiday is for the two of us, but I would like to invite Mike as well. Jack, you amaze me. Are you serious? I don't mind. Yes. Quite seriously. Mike has become much closer to us lately. Let's invite him. Wonderful. Jack, well, then I'll call him myself and invite him. Jessica replied with a smile. Just the day before our anniversary, Jessica said she wanted to visit her mother in the hospital. I did not believe a single word she said and decided to follow her. I discreetly followed Jessica and we stopped in front of a house. It was clearly not a hospital. The lights were on the second floor. I managed to sneak up onto the balcony on the second floor where I saw Jessica and Mike. The door to the balcony was ajar. I took out my phone, turned on the video, and quietly slipped the phone into the room. Jessica, I've been waiting for you, Mike said with a smile. Mike hurried as best she could. What's your husband just behaving like? A donkey and does not suspect anything? Where is he? He even invited you to our wedding anniversary. What can be about? Well, yes, unexpected, but nice. Never mind, we'll soon make your husband a scapegoat. And we, ourselves, will leave for Mexico with a lot of money. Yes. It would be faster. I'm already pretty tired of pretending to be a faithful wife. I was shocked by such a conversation but continued to film. Mike was not at all shy about his statements. He voiced the schemes of his machinations, and all this was clearly visible and audible on the video I filmed. After this candid speech, I witnessed how my wife began to fuck with my right in front of my eyes. Rage clouded my mind, but I held back with the last of my strength so as not to break loose. I decided to carry out my revenge more effectively. I controlled myself and quietly left this house. I had a huge deposit on my soul, but my revenge inspired hope. It was hard to keep track of Mike. He did not sit in one place. He constantly changed his place of residence. Soon, he was supposed to leave here too, but I could not let him. Here comes our wedding anniversary. The three of us sat at the table. Guys, before we start celebrating this day, I would like to show you a touching video. Mike, I promise you'll love it too. And then on the big screen, I turned on the video of their sex, which I filmed. What? What it is? Jessica exclaimed. And what does it look like? You tattered bitch. I shouted. Mike, I'm sorry. I'll rewind now. It will be more interesting for you than watching you fuck my wife. I said. I rewind too. the moment Mike was talking about all his shenanigans. Unit. Mike yelled and ran up to me. "Don't rush, creature." I shouted and hit Mike in the teeth with an iron pipe hidden in advance in the sleeve. "Bon appetit, bastard. How does metal taste? Not harsh?" I asked with annoyance. A new cheap betting obviously mixed up something in this life. "I'm only sorry for one thing. But I did not immediately see what a lying creature you are," I said to Jessica in disgust. At this time, the police broke into the house. I told Jim not long before our meeting that Mike was visiting me, and at the same time handed over the video I had filmed. Now this bastard could be safely taken. I was acquitted thanks to my assistance to the investigation. But Jessica was so unlucky she was convicted of complicity with Mike in these dirty deeds. So they are now behind bars and for a very long time. Nevertheless, I opened my own company and my business began to develop rapidly, which helped me to throw this unnecessary load of many years of lies out of my life. Dear listeners, your support is very important to us. If you like our story, please like, comment and subscribe. It's very motivating for us. We need your feedback to improve